This video is very kindly sponsored by DistroKid. I'll be talking about them more later in the video. Hello and welcome to this video. My name's Dan, aka Lucen. I'm a music producer and songwriter, and today I'm going to be reacting to Lana Del Rey's Lust for Life. Let's go. Here we go, next stage of the Lana journey. We're getting through it now. After this, there's only one more left. So I started with Chemtrails, then went back and discovered everything else. So Born to Die, Paradise, Ultraviolence, Honeymoon. Then I did Blue Banisters. Yeah, now we're doing Lust for Life, and then NFR I'll be doing next month or the month after, something like that. So yes, and my Lana journey has been great. I've really enjoyed discovering her because she's like she's a poet, you know? And like I really appreciate like sitting down and really listening to her lyrics. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what she's got next. If you haven't already, which I'm sure a lot of you have, but if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And like this video as well if you like it, because it helps it in the algorithm, and that's all good for me. So this month I've been sponsored by DistroKid, but today I'm going to talk about a new feature that is actually to do with Tidal, called Tidal's Artists Direct Payouts. So if you are the most listened to artist of a Tidal Hi-Fi Plus subscriber, then up to 10% of their subscription fee to Tidal actually goes directly to you. And once you've earned $50, then Tidal will then send that through to DistroKid, and it'll all appear in your bank section of DistroKid. As always, DistroKid doesn't take a cut of this revenue, and you'll still continue to earn all your streaming royalties on top of that. But basically it's doing a really good thing and actually supporting artists by giving them another way in order to actually earn money through streaming. And it's really nice that DistroKid is enabling you to take advantage of that. It is important to note that you need to opt in, so make sure to go to distrokid.com/Tidal Artist Payments. If you haven't already signed up to DistroKid and you want to take advantage of their music distribution service, you can click on the link, which is here, but also in the description, and that will give you 7% off your first year subscription with them. The Tidal thing is just one of the great things that they do in order to aid artists. Right, okay, let's get on to the video. This is a long one. Lana doesn't do short albums, does she? Song number 1. This is Love. Kids with your vintage music. That melody. Oh, okay. Connecting with someone. I like this one. Complexities of Love, I think. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Oh, I like this one. It's a little bit more leaning towards pop, isn't it, I think? World is yours and you can't refuse it. That don't mean that you should abuse it. Yeah. Was respecting each other in love as well. You go crazy. Enough just to make you go crazy. I love it. Oh, I love that movement into the chorus. That's great. I love the kind of intimacy of love that she's kind of describing here. It's kind of saying that life doesn't have to be grand and exciting. Sometimes it's just enough to have love, you know. There's some interesting samples going on in this one. And now she's talking about herself. Oh, I love how it switched perspective of the song, yeah, in the last verse, to be talking about herself, you know, very clever. Taylor Swift does a lot of that, I love it. I really enjoyed that one, actually. I think it just had a really satisfying melody that was really beautiful. It's like slightly simpler than a lot of the stuff that she has done, but I kind of appreciate that side of it. It feels very epic, but at the same time very intimate. That's a really nice kind of duality that she's got going on there, because yeah, the lyrics are quite kind of intimate, you know, getting all dressed up to go nowhere in particular. I love that. Having a simple life and not needing to, you know, be going out and going crazy and all the time, because actually you've got love right there and that's enough. It's that feeling of love being so grand, but the reality of it actually being really intimate and simple, which is represented through quite big grand production in the background. It's the duality of these different things that she merges together. She seems a lot happier. In the album cover, she's a lot happier. Because like in Honeymoon, I guess she let go of a lot of things. So maybe that's what's going on with her at the moment, you know. Let's go on to song number 2. This is Lust for Life, the title track featuring The Weeknd. Ooh, bike.
Of the Hollywood sign, like July forever. Captains of our own soul.
Taking control of her own life, I guess.
I was like, take off,
Ooh. Ooh, nice. A simple message. Ooh, hello. Oh, nice. I like how this is building. The lust for life keeps us alive. Wow. This should be about taking life by the horns and just living in the moment, you know. And it's like masters of our own fate, you know. If you take control of your own happiness and just go and dance on top of the Hollywood sign with no hesitation, when you're in that mentality, that's what life's about, you know. And taking off all your clothes is freedom, isn't it, you know? I think she's definitely leaning in a slightly poppier direction in this album, which suits my tastes.
and he's cooler than ever. Green lights forever.
Green lights forever.
Take off.
Yeah, nice. This album already has such much more of a positive message than some of her earlier stuff. Feels like I'm following her emotional journey, you know? Nice. Yeah. I like that, yeah. A really kind of positive attitude. I feel like Honeymoon was a transitional album. You know, she was coming out of the darkness of ultraviolence, basking in the glow of the kind of aftermath in a way, and allowing it to change her and move her into somebody different. And I feel like this Lust for Life in this particular song is the result of that. You know, she's found a way to appreciate life and to live it to the best of her ability and to take control of her own life, take control of her own happiness and live in the moment. I think that was something I said quite a lot in my Honeymoon reaction, was that she was learning to live in the moment, and this is her actually doing that and moving forward. Yeah, I love hearing her progression. It feels like I'm kind of listening to her like throughout these albums in order, like kind of grow up and discover new things. Like her view on the world is changing. Yeah, it feels like I'm really getting to know her. It's really cool. I like that a lot. Okay, let's go to song number 3. This is 13 Beaches. Strings are back. I like this arrangement. I love how relaxed and beautiful the music is in this album. Sounds like it's from a movie or something, doesn't it?
13 beaches to find one empty.
Huh. Searching for an empty beach. Maybe somewhere where she can be happy.
But
Ooh. Oh, I love all the like dial-up tone stuff being used here. That's really cool.
cross that county line. It hurts to love, but I still love you.
A little bit darker, this song, huh?
Fact that I can't deal.
Yeah, well, I think she's admitting stuff to herself in this one, isn't she? Dying for something real. Yeah.
Finally, I'm fine.
Maybe the beaches represent her trying to find a place where she can let it all out, you know, being sad and being lonely, allowing that. Representing somebody who she loves but can't be with, you know, like a Romeo and Juliet kind of thing. The county line representing like the line between them.
And I'd be lying if I kept hiding the fact that I can't deal.
Wow. Wow, the dark side to it, doesn't it, this song? Love that. Oof, that ending was really powerful. Yeah. It took 13 beaches to find an empty one. Maybe it's a metaphor for her, like trying to find a place where she can be alone, maybe trying to escape the celebrity. And then she finds one where she can be alone and where she can just kind of stop hiding the fact that she can't deal with this maybe unrequited love situation. It's a little bit darker though. Although I'm looking forward to an optimistic album from her, it's definitely good to have light and shade within an album. You know, not everything's going to be perfect, you know. But let's have a little look at the lyrics just to see. I love the imagery of dripping peaches. It just sounds like beautiful and humid. Can I let go and let the memory dance in the ballroom of my mind? So she's kind of got this fantasy love in her head where she's in love with this person who maybe doesn't love her back. So she kind of has to maybe put on a front until she can find a place where she's alone and can just be truthful with herself that she is still in love with this person. So I guess, like, although it is sad, it does have kind of quite a positive attitude towards mental health in a way, because she's allowing herself to feel those feelings, you know, and being honest with herself. Let's go on to the next song. This is song number 4. This is Cherry. Yup.
Feeling no fear when you're standing in the face of danger.
Ooh, nice.
Heaven taking the place of something evil. Fall to pieces when I'm with you.
I like the kind of glitchy nature of the production.
Rosemary and thyme.
Yeah.
Peaches are right.
Wow. Oh, all my peaches are ruined. So much drama in that phrase, even though it's kind of funny.
Smiling when the fire squats against you.
Wow.
My cherries and wine
Describing the fruits of her labour, maybe.
are ruined.
And they're all ruined when she's with this person, whoever that is.
Bitch.
Nice. I love you so much that I fall to pieces when I'm with you. All of my peaches are ruined. Bitch. Fuck. Ha! Wow. I wonder what that one's about. That's an interesting lyric, but I love the poetry of it, you know. My cherries, my wine, my rosemary and thyme, and all of my peaches are ruined. Maybe her love for this person is kind of almost undermining her own healthiness and her own happiness because she falls to pieces when she's with them, you know. Oh, it's really beautiful lyrics. And I really love the production, that one. It kind of had this kind of like the dark, grandiose feeling that she often has, but it plays in a little bit of this kind of glitchiness. And her voice sounds really beautiful in that one too. Real love is like feeling no fear when you're standing in the face of danger. I guess it's like the kind of perils of falling for somebody. Yeah, so it's like everything's ruined by her love for this person. Maybe she's talking about how she has gained self-confidence, has, you know, grown all these fruits, and yet her love for this person is undermining all of that. You know, maybe she's doing things out of character because she's in love with them. Like, I can kind of relate to that because, like, sometimes when you're in love, you just want it so much that you'll put yourself in danger. You'll put yourself in, you know, in the firing line because you just want the love so much, even though it's not necessarily reciprocated. And you end up, like, doing things that are out of character. You end up, maybe don't speak up for yourself, do things that are not necessarily good for you in order to, like, make that other person happy, you know. Yeah, and it's really quite an eloquent kind of portrayal of that, isn't it? Let's go on to song number 5. This is White Mustang.
Packing all my things for the summer. Didn't call when I got your number, but
So she's met someone and got their number, but not the courage to call them.
saw your white Mustang.
So someone's obviously quite successful, this person.
Caught up in my dreams and forgetting.
I like the drums.
You just couldn't stop.
Right. Okay, so the White Mustang kind of represents maybe bad habits. This person is, like, rich and maybe spends a lot of money on drugs and big cars and stuff. Yeah. She's not attributing positive feelings towards this White Mustang. Interesting. It sounds very professional. It's quite satisfying. Or was that a car, like, whizzing off at the end? Interesting, huh? Yeah, definitely quite a negative portrayal of this person. Sounds like maybe she is talking through her, maybe a limited relationship with him. Oh, right, okay, so yeah, it doesn't seem as if, like, she's actually connected with this person. I think a lot of people try to set her up with him, and yet she's really concerned because she sees the White Mustang, and to her that's red flags. Instead of actually calling him, she avoids it. So, I don't know, it seems like quite a turnaround from It seems like quite a turnaround from her attitude in, like, certainly like Ultraviolence, where she was just going for it and, like, kind of, even though the love that she was experiencing was like really negative and dark, she was still just kind of throwing herself into it, whereas now she seems much more cautious. So yeah, there's definitely growth there, isn't there? Let's go on to the next one. This is song number 6. This is Summer Bummer feat. A$AP Rocky and Playboy Carti.
It's never too late to be who you wanna be.
Never too late to be who you want to be. Well, I like how they've put the rap in kind of this like atmospheric place. Very cool. This is cool. Whoa. There it is, the kind of hip hop influence. Huh. This is such an interesting feature. Let's get the games, let's put the plan, boo, let's get it acquainted. I'm not sure what the story is yet. Maybe they're tempted by somebody. Well, I like the mixed timing there. That's really cool. It's quite cool how she's merged two different styles, because although her approach to music is extremely different to A$AP Rocky, it still merges really well. She talks about black beaches a lot. What does that mean? Let me know. Ooh, love that. I think the production on this song is really stellar. It's like peer pressure, isn't it? Don't be a bummer. Yeah, so maybe it's about cheating, huh? This kind of summer fling. You're my undercover lover. It's like she's kind of tempting this person, trying to peer pressure them into having like an affair with her, you know? Maybe he's feeling the pressure from his relationship and is tempted by it, you know? That was a very different song, actually. I really liked it though, completely unique. It's like a kind of style that I'd never really heard before. And I absolutely loved at the beginning how, like, in the first verse she's singing and his rapping is like this kind of background atmosphere. It's like murmurings of like different lyrics that are just kind of spinning around in this atmosphere and kind of swirling. You know, nothing's quite forefront. Like her vocals are very much in the middle and everything else is kind of like this. And it's quite sinister and quite kind of dramatic. It's such an interesting way to use a feature, to utilize the kind of slight harshness of like spoken word, use those textures to create an atmosphere is like just so cool. I love it. That's like, I'm really geeking out on the music production of this one. Very, very cool. I mean, hip hop isn't really my style, but I can still really appreciate the creativity there. Let's go on to song number 1. Song number 7. This is Groupie Love with A$AP Rocky again.
You're in the bar playing guitar. So hard sometimes.
Maybe she's the groupie. You have to share him with everyone else, yeah. Like this. Oh, I love the drums. I love the rhythm of this one. Yeah, it's like an unbalanced love, isn't it? Like, you want me to be in love with you, you want my adoration, but you also want everybody else's adoration at the same time. I'm really vibing with this one, actually. Every time we hook up, you're thinking of something else, huh? Oh, I love the sounds in this one. It's just like really beautiful. Ooh, I like that, yeah. So maybe he's taking the like position of the man in the story, but he's kind of maybe telling her what she wants to hear, you know? Cool. Whoa. Clapping at the end. Yeah, that's cool, isn't it? All tying it all together, you know, this idea that she's in the audience, like watching him play guitar and trying not to like fall in love with him, but like the charm and the kind of power that that person has over her is kind of undeniable in a way. She is quite powerful in her stance because she does say, you know, I know what you're about, I know what you're thinking of, you want my groupie love. You don't want like a real, equal, balanced love. You want me to adore you. It's an ego thing, isn't it? That's what this song's about. It's about ego. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because like a lot, like the rest of her verses, she seems to be going along with it, feeling like she's the special one. But then every time they hook up, every time they actually get together, she realizes that he's not necessarily present. Let's have a little look at A$AP's verse. Yeah, so it almost seems as if A$AP is taking the position of the artist and kind of saying what she wants to hear, like, you and I, we have something special, you know, and kind of allowing the adoration of the fans to kind of still fuel his ego. Yeah, it's a really cool story that they've like fleshed out in this song. Let's go on to song number 8. This is In My Feelings. I like the synth here. Quite kind of dark and moody.
Could it be that I fell for another loser?
Could it be that I fell for another loser? Ha! She's so much more self-aware in this, I think. You know? Ooh, very cool. Got me in my feelings. I'm not sure what the story's about yet. I haven't quite figured that out. Wow. Kind of seems as if there's like a self-confidence in this song, isn't there? Maybe it's like, you know, I'm feeling my feelings really authentically. So who wants to actually be with me, you know? Though, yeah, then that's that other thing that it's kind of like this guy is throwing off her axis a little bit. I'm not sure. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I feel like this album's actually more listenable than some of her other ones. I'm not sure for what reason that is, but yeah, I love the production in that one. I love that kind of like, almost like, whoa, kind of synth, you know what I mean? It gives it so much like depth and so much drama. Let's have a little look at the lyrics. I'm crying while I'm coming, wow. Make love while I'm making good money. Sobbing in my cup of coffee because I fell for another loser, wow. Maybe she's angry that she's fallen for another dickhead. A little bit angry at herself, definitely angry at this other person because she seems like she's fallen for this person, realised they're a loser, and she's kind of, yeah, she seems annoyed at herself. And then she says at the end of the chorus, you know, because I am worth something. I've got to a point where I'm happy with myself, where I'm confident, and yet you've undermined that and I'm pissed off about it. Let's go on to song number 9. This is Coachella Woodstock of My Mind. Appreciation for festivals. Interesting.
I guess I was in it 'cause Woodstock in my mind.
Oh yeah, she's a retro girl at heart.
'Cause what about all
Ooh, sounds like it's crashing.
their wishes wrapped up like garland roses? Traded off
Cool.
my time for the climb up to the top of it.
I like the halting moments in the bass.
To ask him one question.
What question would that be? I'm not sure what she's singing about though.
Critics can be so mean sometimes. Children
I like the use of the sounds of the crowd because it's quite rhythmic.
for a stairway to heaven.
She trade it all for a stairway to heaven. It's kind of dark. It's a cool song. Like I love the textural moments in the drums. They're kind of subtle, but yeah. Nice. Yeah, I think the production on this album might be among the best that she's done, actually. Okay, yeah, I'm not 100% sure what that one was about, but I did really like the production on it. Tied in a bit more of the kind of hip-hop trap stuff, which seems to be a bit more of a trend for her than I thought it was going to be. But she's still very like firmly rooted in her poetry and that leading the songwriting, you know. I love how she like really fully fleshes out these stories. I was in Coachella leaning on your shoulder, watching your husband swing in time. It's like she says so much without saying much at all. You can picture it, can't you, in your head, you know? Okay, so maybe the Stairway to Heaven is like representing her doing something important with her life. It's like she starts at Coachella and she drifts off and is inspired by all these people, the Woodstock hippies, I guess, and kind of seeing all their wishes tied up in their hair with all the garlands in their hair. That's the thing, right? All the kids at the time who were incredibly political and would go to Woodstock, you know, But they would protest. They protested for women's rights. They protested against the Vietnam War. You know, there's a lot of history in that. And I think what she's saying is that she would trade all of the things that she's gained, like her fame and fortune, if she could go to heaven. In saying that, she's saying, I want to be able to do something good with my life, something that betters the world around me. That's really cool. I love that. It's kind of dreamlike, isn't it? You know, she's got such an incredible, like, intrinsic way of writing a song that just takes you off on this journey with her. You know, it's like being in a dream. Let's go on to song number 10, God Bless America and All the Beautiful Women in It. Nice.
Only you can save me tonight to run and I'm alone.
Beautiful. I love how... Did you hear that? Yeah, the gunshots. Oof. Now that is cynical. Maybe this is sarcasm. The gunshots kind of dark reality, you know.
Take me as I am, don't see me for what I'm not. I feel your arms all around me.
This is such an interesting one, isn't it? Like, I think like this story might have different levels to it. Maybe she's saying she feels safe and feels like she could say God Bless America because she has privilege, but then in the background, the gunshots are going off. I love the chord structure in this. It's that descending chromatic thing that's really good. Yeah. It definitely has an element of patriotism, but maybe she's more patriotic towards the people of America than she is towards the institution. She changed from women to people, huh? Definitely something sinister there. I think that on the surface it seems quite patriotic, quite positive, but there's definitely a level of like cynicism and a sinister kind of undercurrent there, because that God Bless America is punctuated by 2 gunshots. Like, that's not an accident. Let's have a little look at the lyrics and try and suss that out, because this is very clever. Maybe she's purposely painting a picture of somebody who is kind of oblivious to the darkness, you know, maybe a super patriotic person who feels very comfortable. Like she says, like, even walking alone, I'm not worried, which we know is kind of at odds with the reality, especially when it's punctuated with that, with those gunshots. God Bless America and all the beautiful women in it, you know, like maybe she feels like camaraderie with the other women of her nation, but actually in the background there's definitely something going on. Let me know what you think, because I'm sure everybody has a different opinion on that. Okay, let's go on to song number 11. This is When the World Was at War, We Kept Dancing, which sounds heavy. Is that a plane going off?
Don't forget your pearls. Don't forget your curls.
What context is this, huh? Sounds like she's talking about like dancers who are sent off to entertain the troops or something. Wonder what war she's referring to. Kind of ignoring the reality, just continuing on. Wow, I love the melody of this one. Boys getting sent off to war. This is really, it has a real darkness to it, doesn't it? Like, yeah. Like thinking, is this the end of the world? But just ignoring it and dancing. Anyway. Maybe she's looking at like the modern like terrorism and stuff and kind of thinking, you know, how did they get through it before? They just kept going. They just kept dancing. If you dwell on the negativity, like how are you supposed to like foresee a future, you know? It's quite entrancing, this song. Interesting, huh? Yeah, it seems to be like that one is really looking at maybe the modern struggles that we face in the world and kind of thinking, you know, how did they get through it before, you know, during, you know, maybe World War II, World War One. And the answer was that they just kept dancing. Maybe it's like learning an appreciation for life in the moments where you're unsure, like what the future might hold for you because of stuff like war, because of maybe like, you know, modern for us now, because of Corona. It's like, you know, you start to appreciate life. So I think that that's kind of part of what it is appreciating life while you have it and dancing, you know, living in the moment. Again, living in the moment, right? I think that's a real key theme for her. And she's looking back and kind of thinking how people would use that feeling of living in the moment to get through even the biggest crises, you know? Let me know what you think. Yeah, I like that one. I'm going to add that to my current vibes playlist. I have this playlist going on Spotify if you want to follow it. Basically all the songs that I love right now. And it's on a constant rotation, so it's worth following to see what I'm listening to all the time. The link's in the description. Let's go on to the next song. Song number 12. This is Beautiful People, Beautiful Problems, feat Stevie Nicks. I love a bit of Stevie Nicks. Okay.
Blue is the color of the planet from the view above.
Your favourite colour, blue.
Runs red with blood.
Wow.
It's more than just a video game.
Reference to video games, yes.
Beautiful problems.
Sounds cynical, doesn't it? First world problems vibes.
God knows we've got them.
There she is. Yeah, using the word blue in different circumstances, maybe making them all merge in the idea of sadness.
My past is rough.
Yeah.
Like a sugar.
This is beautiful.
Is it wasted love? But we gotta try. We gotta walk through fire.
We gotta try, we gotta walk through fire.
Beautiful people, beautiful.
I love the addition of Stevie's voice. I mean, she's got such a unique voice and really adds an extra layer of depth to the song. Beautiful people, beautiful problems. Yeah, it kind of takes a bit of a cross-section at two different people, I think, who, with the connection being the word blue. Like Lana's verse is a bit more big. You know, she's looking at the planet from above and how it looks blue. It's literally blue, but emotionally blue. Green is the planet from the eyes of a turtle dove. The turtle dove maybe representing peace or something, I don't know. Till it runs red with blood. So it's beautiful, but there's this underlying sadness, underlying darkness to everything. And it's like, we're beautiful people, but we have beautiful problems. Like, things might seem, but there's always the other side of it. Maybe it's the kind of philosophical thing. And then Stevie sings about blue shirt man, which is like a blue collar man is like somebody who traditionally works from the working class is the blue collar. He's hard at work and hard to the touch, so she can't connect with him. So that's a much more of a personal blue feeling for this woman, a personal problem. And she's saying she's soft, but her past is rough. Like, it's very complex and maybe revealing like a big overview of the world and its problems, and then a microscope on the smallest one person's problem right in front of them and how they're kind of equal. It's very, it could be read a million different ways. Really like it though. Really like how it's written. It's really deep. Okay, let's go on to the next song. This is song number 13. This is Tomorrow Never Came, feat Sean Ono Lennon. I haven't heard of this person, but I'm assuming it's John Lennon and Yoko Ono's son. Ooh, nice, warm, country.
What you doing?
I love the instrumentation in this. Fingerpick guitar and double bass. And some sort of organy, synthy thing. Nice. Yes, yum. Love that. Ooh, yeah. Beautiful chords. Wow, yeah. Broken promises. This is really beautifully written, this song. It's kind of a little bit more singer-songwriter-y, isn't it?
What you thinking?
God, he sounds like John Lennon, doesn't he?
Just swallow some wine, baby, stay.
love this bit.
Be my tiny dancer, baby.
It sounds like a love song, doesn't it? It's a love song that was never realised.
City on the park bench.
Their voices sound nice together, don't they? Yeah, oh, love that.
Said to meet me up there tomorrow,
But tomorrow never came. Oh, I love this one. This is really nice.
Now that I'm singing with Sean
in the city on the park bench.
Oh, this story is so heartbreaking, isn't it? Oh, yeah.
You love me like no tomorrow.
Oh,
Tomorrow never came.
I love it. Oh, this is so nice. Love that. Wow, that's one of my favourites. That might be my favourite on the album so far. That's beautiful and so sad. It's just this image of being told, tomorrow I will love you tomorrow, you know, wait for me and I'll be there for you and we'll have everything you've ever wanted. And so they're sat on the park bench in the rain, waiting for this person, but tomorrow never came. It never, oh God, that's lovely. And I just love the musicality of it, the chord structure. It uses that kind of, that chromatic thing that always sounds different, doesn't it? Because it's not strictly within the key, you know. Love it. Oh my God, that's my favourite song on the album. Let's go on to song number 14. We're getting there. It's a long one. This is Heroin. Sounds kind of 80s. Spacey.
the city by the bay. Ask me to sleep, but it get hard to dream. Dreaming about it.
It's intoxicating, isn't it?
I put you on an aeroplane. Okay.
Saying goodbye to someone, maybe. Kind of hoping that it's not the end, maybe. Just don't know why it's called Heroin.
And all my friends have gone, 'cause they still feel him here. Absolutely nothing's clear. You're ultra softly.
It's like a lullaby.
Dreaming about heroin. And took your life away.
Oh, okay. Maybe she's talking about a friend, maybe, who had to go to rehab or something.
It's fucking hot.
Wow. Oof.
It's kinda scary.
Ooh. Nice chord movement there.
Taking all my medicine to take my thoughts away. To tell you that I really changed.
Now I'm leaving, and I hope I come back one day to tell you how I've changed.
Makes me feel like I can change.
Makes me feel like I can change.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't sick of it.
Yeah, like there's really something very epic about that. It changes modally in the middle eight to take it somewhere quite grand and quite unique. Yeah, dreaming about heroin, Gout gave you everything and took your life away. I put you on the aeroplane, destined for a foreign land. I thought that you'd come back again, tell me everything's okay. This person was addicted to heroin and she kind of like tried to help them. And like everybody, yeah, all of her friends have left because they can't kind of deal with the memory of this person. But she doesn't know what to do without them. Yeah. Writing in blood on my walls and shit, wow. It's like this person is like haunting her. Really dreamlike and beautiful and like, oh God, she's such a brilliant artist, like so unique, so intoxicating, so dreamlike, so, yeah, fabulous, really. Really makes you think. Let's go on to the next song. This is song number 15. This is Change.
Something in the wind, on the wings of a bomb.
Well,
It's coming in high.
what's coming? Something's coming. It's like a foreboding thing, isn't it? Change is coming, maybe. Yeah.
I feel it coming in me.
I feel change coming in me.
To be honest, maybe it's enough to just be where we are.
Maybe it's enough to just be where we are. Wow.
Now we slow down, we feel close to it.
It's again living in the moment, isn't it? You know, slowing down, appreciating life around you. I love the piano.
On the wings of a song, day turning sour.
Ooh.
Change is a powerful thing, trying to find the power in me.
Maybe she's trying to become the person that she wants to be again.
But whenever it does, we'll be here for it.
Yeah, they'll be ready to take the change on and be okay with it, you know. There's definitely maturity in this song, isn't there? Nice. Yeah, she's really kind of come to terms with maybe coping with change. I think that's what that song represents. Actually saying sometimes change is okay, and sometimes, you know, you kind of need to just take it as it comes. Like, stop anticipating it and just live in the moment, like we've said. Cross that bridge when we come to it. That's kind of the feeling there. And she's taking this on with another person, maybe looking back at how she's kind of been jumpy or anxious about her relationships. Actually, like, maybe she just needs to take a breath and relax and just take it as it comes, you know. I like that, yeah. Well, I love that lyric. There's something in the wind, I can feel it blowing in. It's coming in softly on the wings of a bomb, you know. Like, something big is coming, but it's coming in like very subtly, you know. Let me know what you think. As always, like, what I love, particularly with the Lana reactions, is that everybody jumps to the comments and lets me know what their interpretations of all the songs are, and it's like really fascinating to hear everybody's perspectives. Yeah, so make sure to do that. Before we go on to the final song, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure to like this video if you like it too. Yeah. And of course, yeah, make sure to check out all of my music and stuff. Like, that's all part of what I love to do. It's not just listening and appreciating other people's music, but making my own too. All the links are below, like Spotify and everything, and you can check that all out if you want to. Let's go on to the final song. This is song number 16. This is Get Free. Finally. Crossing the threshold. Okay, so this, yeah, like a manifesto, right? What she's gonna do going forward, who she's gonna be going forward. She's thinking outside of herself, isn't she? Yeah. Wow. Huh. Yeah, wow. It's getting very philosophical, isn't it? Ooh. Creates such a unique soundscape, you know. Like, musically, this album is very experimental. But it all kind of ties together well, you know. It's well made. This is definitely a reflection, isn't it, you know, on her new attitude, how she's grown up and how she's changed. Out of the black and into the blue. Yeah, she loves blue. But like, when you look at like Ultraviolence and how that was talking about, like, you know, using the black and blue to literally mean bruises and pain, whereas now it seems to be representing her moving forward and embracing who she is, you know. Ooh, what's this? Seagulls by the beach. It's like a meditation. Sounds healing and positive though, doesn't it? Beautiful. I love that, wow. I don't know, maybe she's getting free of her past. She's definitely showing much more maturity through this album. She's like embracing like things that are bigger than herself and kind of looking at her place in the world in a grander sense. And I think with this song, she's vowing to let go of the darkness of her past, you know, move out of the black and embrace herself as the person that she is, which is somebody who maybe is a little bit blue, but is very much like embracing that side of herself, you know. She's seeing her place of privilege. She's saying she can use her art maybe to spread a more positive message, and she can do it for the people who didn't get the chance to fly, all the birds of paradise who couldn't fly at night. She's finding freedom for herself. So yeah, very mature, and I love how that's kind of capped off this era of her life, which seems to be a step after Honeymoon, which was her kind of still dealing with the darkness, finding a way to deal with the darkness, finding a way to get through it and to not live in a honeymoon state, you know, to actually appreciate the world around her. And here she is appreciating the world around her, but maybe that brings more challenges and brings more things that she has to deal with up front, but she's doing it in much more of a mature way. She's doing it in a way where she is much more self-assured and is a little bit more humble. I think there's definitely a developed maturity there. A really, really nice listen, very listenable. I think some of her albums border on a little bit like not easy listening, but this one, I don't know, there's something about it that feels a bit more accessible than some of her other albums, which I really appreciate. It's a very grown-up album, I think, and it's really interesting to see her progression. You know, it's kind of almost like the end of a kind of era. She's let go of the ultra-violence stuff once and for all, you know, and I'm really excited to see where NFR goes, because that is really the one that everyone has been talking about, that everybody wants me to react to. I'm extremely excited to get into NFR, and now I finally can. So make sure to come back for my NFR reaction. If not January, definitely February. Beautiful. I just love really just like switching off and just listening to her lyricism. So apologies if this wasn't the most exciting reaction in the world, but I hope you appreciated it anyway. Lana was one of my top listened artists of the year, and I think, yeah, a lot of that is to do with me just switching her on and just listening to the lyrics and really trying to figure out the lyrics, you know. Let's do the song of the week. I thought, in honour of Stevie Nicks being featured on this album, I pick a Fleetwood Mac song to be the song of the week, and my song of the week is Landslide. So in all honesty, the first time I heard this was on Glee, okay? Glee was really good at introducing me to classic songs that I hadn't had the chance to listen to. Something about this song is so beautiful. The melody is just one of the best melodies I've ever heard, honestly. And the kind of intrinsic fingerpick guitar is really natural in its motion, and it kind of is nostalgic and wistful and romantic in a way. I'm sure a lot of you have heard it, but yeah, that's my song of the week. That's Landslide by Fleetwood Mac, obviously. I'll add it to my song of the week playlist, and the link to that playlist is in the description. So yeah, cool. Right, okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, next week is the Weepy Awards, so I'll be doing my annual awards for the best music of 2021, where I crown my album of the year, artist of the year, biggest cry of the year, all of those things. Yeah, so join in. I will see you then. Okay, bye.